But the really disappointing thing is there are a lot of people in the fitness industry that drive codependency, meaning if you don't have me, you will never achieve success.
You are listening to the Why Smart Women podcast, the podcast that helps smart women work out why we repeatedly make the wrong decisions and how to make better ones. From relationships, career choices, finances, to faux fur jackets and kale smoothies. Every moment of every day, we're making decisions. Let's make them good ones. I'm your host, Annie McCubbin, and as a woman of a certain age, I've made my own share of really bad decisions. Not my husband, I don't mean him, though I did go through some shockers to find him. And I wish this podcast had been around to save me from myself. This podcast will give you insights into the working of your own brain, which will blow your mind. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I'm recording and you are listening on this day. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Hello, smart women, and welcome to today's episode of Why Smart Women. Today I am recording from the island paradise of Bali, where Connor Petterson, you think I'd know his name, wouldn't you? Connor Petterson, who is the owner of my local gym, has forced me to come on a health retreat. I'll talk about yesterday's event where we climbed a mountain in a minute. But first of all, I'd like to tell you about my health routine. So I started off today with a detox juice. I'll just tell you what I had in the detox juice. It's fascinating. Okay. I had turmeric, raw coconut, lemon, mint, cucumber berries, raw milk, cayenne pepper, apple cider vinegar, organic orange juice, chia seeds, blackberry, watermelon, grapefruit, activated charcoal, which is my favourite, cabbage, beet, carrot, avocado, kale, spinach, and some sort of beach sand because it's a natural source of fibre. And as we know, everything natural is good, including island taipans, which are the world's most poisonous snakes, cancer, and death cap mushrooms. So after my detox juice, which took me 4 hours to prepare, I had a colonic, where the practitioner discovered a small plastic doll from the Easter show that I must have swallowed when I was 5. Okay, that's all a lie. None of that happened because there's no evidence any of it works. Have a juice by all means because they're awesome and really super yummy and they've got vitamins in them, but nothing you put in your mouth is going to detox you. That's the job of your liver and kidneys. And if they're not working, you're in a lot of trouble and no juice is going to fix it. As for colonics, just stop doing it. It's really stupid and it can perforate your bowel. And people with no actual qualifications do them. Anyway, enough about that. So there's loads of wellness interventions, products, tinctures and processes. If I had to go into all of them, I'd be here for 5 hours. It would be too much for me and much too much for your listeners. So if detoxing colonics don't work in terms of your own personal health, what does? Well, now we're going to talk to Connor, who, as I said before, is the owner of my local gym and has forced me to come on a health retreat. And can I say, Connor, I'm having a really good time. Much to my surprise, it's awesome.
Thanks, Annie. I think it's been amazing to have you.
Yeah, it has been.
Just like this intro you've done today, you're absolutely hilarious. You've added that, I guess, element to the retreat, you know, whatever's going on, whether it's there's small issues on any retreat, on any journey, on anything in life, there's always issues.
Yeah.
But if you look at the brighter side of life and have a bit of fun with it, then you can make any situation an amazing one.
Yeah, 100%. What we know is that there's a lot of information and misinformation out there, especially online, what's going to actually make people healthy. And yet what we know, and there is so much evidence for it, is that exercise is numero uno. And that's what I wanted to talk to you specifically about today. And we can really talk about yesterday in relation to that because, well, yesterday, Connor made us climb a very big mountain and it was very dark and we had to have torches on our heads. And it was 2:00 in the morning and everyone was quite panicked at various points about it. But we all got up there. And I think the process of that, Connor, is interesting in relation to what we can do and what we think we can do and some of the narratives in our heads that tell us what we can't do. So I just wanted to have a chat to you about that.
Yeah, amazing. I think you touched on a few really good points. What I'd like to do is talk to you about the bullshit in the fitness industry because we know that there are so many cowboys out there that are just trying to make a buck And by doing that, they'll sell you anything possible and they'll tell you that anything works. But I love your insight to realize that exercise, physical activity is the number one thing. And in terms of the mountain hike, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it after it was over. I did actually enjoy the sense of accomplishment that came with probably overriding the deep sense of fear. I mean, I know it was interesting because I talked to because we're all of a certain age, ladies. We're not all 25 here. This is why I'm here. Lisa can attest to this. She's sitting over there. We'll get a little shot of Lisa later. So all of us had narratives in our head while we were doing it that we kept inside, and we didn't, I think I may have said to you at some point, oh my God, I'm going to die, which was my way of saying I feel like I'm going to faint or vomit. But I think we all had very, very similar internal voices that were unhelpful. But it's very common, would you think, that people do get into that state where they think, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it.
Okay, so let's cut to an excerpt from the audiobook of my book, Why Smart Women Buy the Lies, where the central character, Kat, is struggling with her own internal monologue of why she can't exercise.
Maybe I'll become a world-class athlete. Do you think I'm too old?
You might have to go to the gym more than once a month.
Your relationship with exercise is complicated. You have been visiting a local gym housed in a gigantic warehouse. The trainer, Tobias, is recovering from a horrendous spinal injury. He walks on crutches. In the warm-up prior to each class, your training buddy, Dana, feels the need to remind you just how amazing Tobias is. You always nod in agreement. The issue you have is that his inspirational presence robs you of your right to complain. How can you whinge that your knee hurts or you want to vomit after a 30-second sprint on the assault bike when he is a walking example of resilience and positivity? Resilience and positivity are two of your former employer's corporate values. It's not fair to be consistently exposed to them when you consistently fail to embody them. Every morning when your alarm goes off, the litany of excuses commence. My knee hurts. I think I have contagious conjunctivitis. I have COVID. I haven't had adequate sleep and I could fall asleep on the spin bike. I've got too much on. I'll go for a walk later. Gyms are stupid. Then porridge licks your face, so you fall out of bed, resentfully pull on your tights, complain it's cold and head off. Tobias will of course be there, having been up since 4:30 a.m.
Hey, Kat.
He says,
Good to see you. How's your knee?
this is the thing about Tobias. He has every right to be dismissive of people's real or imagined injuries, but he is kind and solicitous. Also, you have to admit, maybe it's the endorphin high, but when you get to the end of the workout and he high-fives you and says,
You smashed that, legend.
for a moment, you think anything is possible.
I like the gym.
You say to Charlotte.
I think I'll become a personal trainer.
So Kat doesn't become a personal trainer, but Connor is a personal trainer. So let's go back to him and keep continuing our chat.
I think that the mountain climb, you can almost look as an analogy on any health journey.
Right.
You start
Perfect.
the journey. Luckily for us, it was in the dark. But we can't see the end. We can't see the destination because when you're looking up, let's say it was about 3.5 kilometres high. When you're looking up at that thing, you can't see it because you're in the dark. Let's say someone wanted to lose 10 kilos. Sometimes they're so concerned on getting to that 10 kilo loss. But for us, we had our torches on and we could only see 1 metre ahead. Just like a 10 kilo weight loss journey, one step every single day. Work for us every single second. Take that step, and you eventually make it to the top. But along the way, you're telling yourself, this is fucking hard.
Right.
I want to stop. But you had the support of others and we spoke to each other. And when things got difficult, you lent on someone else and you said, you're doing a good job. Keep going. You're doing a good job. Keep going. And eventually we got to the point where we could have a joke. And that's on that weight loss journey when you start to find enjoyment out of it and you start to enjoy it. And then at the end for us, there was no sunrise. So the destination was actually fucked.
I love that.
But on a 10 kilo weight loss journey, when you lose 10 kilos, the job isn't done. Because if you think the job's done, you're going to gain the 10 kilos again anyway.
And why is that? Tell me about
you
that.
don't enjoy the process of losing the weight. Because you go, I'm going to the gym and I fucking hate it. I'm eating a detox and I hate it. I'm only eating broccoli and chicken and I hate it. But if you can build the processes where you go, I turn up to the gym, my friends go there, I love it, I get to have a chat, I learn about this. I'm interested in nutrition because it fuels my body, not for weight loss, but so I feel good. So I regulate my bowel movement, so my skin's clear, all these benefits, so I sleep better. Rather than going, I'm going to have a detox drink so I lose a kilo this week. So if you take the approach of understanding nutrition, enjoying your training, and remembering that it's not the destination, it's the journey, which I really hope a lot of our members do, and it's something that we try and drive down everyone's throat, is enjoy the journey, because then the destination doesn't matter. Because once you get there, you just set a new destination and you enjoy chasing that next thing.
That is the most awesome analogy. Because, I mean, there's so much motivational stuff online which makes you want to vomit and is sort of right and sort of pointless and meaningless. But actually that does have meaning. And I know for me yesterday, there were those moments where I was frightened that I would be the one that was going to let everybody down. It was going to be me, that I couldn't do it. I would probably faint, vomit, have a heart attack, die, have a stroke. You'd have to get a chopper in. It would be a long time because I'd have to come from Australia. I don't know. It was a big story I had going on in my head. And everyone would be going, bloody Annie, fucking Annie. She was the one that let everybody down and everybody else got to see the sunrise. It never happened. Thanks for that, Connor. It's great. In terms of that voice, I agree with you. So that is fascinating that you're looking ahead of you and it's dark. Because if I had looked at the top of that mountain and accurately assessed how far it was, I reckon I probably would have given up. Because as you know, I come to the gym every day because it's awesome and I love it. And I love the culture that you have built at Code 5. I find it very unusual. It's very inclusive and you go across all ages and it's not a lot of mirrors and it's an extremely, I don't like to use the word positive, but it's a very optimistic environment, I find. And in terms of yesterday, those moments when I was like, I'm going to be the one that fucks this and have to get the chopper in, you were there, your partner Jack was there, and the beautiful girls were there and they were great. And Anna said to me, you're going to get to the top and I'm going to get you a coffee. That's a really good motivator for me, right? That really worked because it was genuinely one step at a time. And that's your analogy for losing weight, getting fitter. Because if it's all end goal, then we're over here. You know, an interesting thing in terms of your cognitive process, when you think about yourself in the future, the part of your brain that fires off is the same part of your brain that actually fires off when you think about strangers. It's why long-term goals are really, really difficult. It's why dieting is really difficult because it's like you're actually thinking about someone else, which is why here today, right now, I'm here. Connor's there, the girls are there, I'm going to take the next step and then we're going to get there. And the fact that the sunrise didn't happen, man, I loved that. No, I loved it because we know that things that go a bit wrong are like Post-it notes in the brain. And then they're where humour comes from and comedy comes from and that sense of collegiality because you pull the Post-it note out of your brain and there it is. We will be laughing about that and bagging you out about that literally for years. Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, I mean, thank you. I think it did. And it also added to this narrative today to understand that, every journey, there's not always going to be that amazing thing at the end.
No.
Right? There's always going to be something tricky. There's always going to be something that might stop or stuff up the journey. So for us to go, to put in all this effort, for us to all go in our little internal monologue saying, you can't do this, but then beat through that or have a teammate say, come on, you can keep moving, you can keep doing it and get there. But then not have the shining light, the shining sun come over the mountain and look amazing. It added to it all.
It did.
It added to it all. And now we know that, we have to do it again, I guess.
Yeah, about that. Just about that doing it again thing. You may get me back here. You have Buckley's of getting me back on that mountain. I don't need to do that again. So can you just talk to me about the culture of Code 5? Because what we know the evidence is that, especially in terms of getting older, is that the things that keep the brain intact are cardio, weights, intellectual stimulation, being sociable, and having a reasonable, decent diet, not smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. I know my voice sounds a bit like I smoke. I don't. Connor, I don't smoke, and I don't do drugs either. I do, however, drink quite a lot of alcohol, and I really like it.
Yeah, I can talk to you about that for sure. I think the culture of Code 5, and I would say most gyms or most businesses are usually an extension of the owner. So usually the business embodies what the owner does. And for myself personally, for those looking at me, I'm a very normal, genuine person. I, don't do anything to extremes, but I love to spend time with people. I love to connect with people. I don't have any biases towards working with, young people, middle-aged people, older people. And Code 5's just been an extension of that. And then adding in social aspects, which you spoke about already, saying how important that is as we age, is having connection, encouraging socialization.
What we know is that as we were developing, way, way, way back when we were still roaming around on the savannah, is that if you were chucked out of your tribe, it was very, very dangerous. So you didn't have that tribe around you. So what happens is you get an inflammatory response in the body to protect yourself. And what happens is, as we know, a short inflammatory response is totally fine. Chronic inflammatory response is really, really dangerous. So in the realest of terms, in the real world, it is highly protective to your brain to be socializing, to have those connections. Also, you have a conversation with someone, there's a level of difficulty, you have to listen to the person, you have to respond. So coming to a gym like Code 5, which I would totally agree is an absolute extension of your personality. It's relaxed, but if you want to push yourself, you can, and there's a definite sense of collegiality there. So you come to Code 5, you have a conversation with someone, you're actually genuinely working on those dendritic connections in the brain. The very beginning, you talked about cowboy fitness people that are selling people stuff that actually doesn't work. Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty rife in the fitness industry.
I'd agree.
Whether it is a detox juice, whether it is a short plan to lose weight or whatever it may be. And a lot of people might throw out this short plan as a sexy marketing tool. And I'm one of those people. But the goal is when you get someone to come in is to change their mindset and create that, enjoy the journey, not necessarily focus on the destination. But the really disappointing thing is there are a lot of people in the fitness industry that drive codependency, meaning if you don't have me, you will never achieve success. Whereas our goal is to teach and educate.
And what we know is that willpower is not a good master. Willpower, there's only so much willpower you have in the course of the day. So if you're trying to diet and go to the gym and have a frigging detox juice and have a colonic or whatever else you think is going to help you and apply 17 different lotions on your face that are going to do something, if you're trying to do that, your willpower is going to run out. But what we know does work, and all the data supports this, is habit. Would you agree with that?
100%. And if I was to look at ever investing money in myself, I'd look at working with probably a coach.
Yeah.
And a gym and getting some accountability and structure.
Yeah.
But move your body is number one.
Yeah, move your body. And I know for myself that I went randomly to other random gyms. I didn't like them as much, Connor. I did not like them as much. And then I got to Code 5 and I was doing 5 times a week, I think. And then Julie said to me, one of the girls at the gym, said to me, why don't you come? I come 9 times a week. I went, oh, I could do that. I could do that. I'll do that. Because I'm also highly suggestible, which is why the gym works for me, hence the mountain. Yeah. Thanks, Connor. And then I began coming every day. And now people go, how do you motivate yourself? Well, I don't. There's no motivation. There's no motivation. I get up and I put my shoes on and I get in the car. I put Ryder in the car, my dog. He really likes the gym. Thanks for having him. I put Ryder in the car and I arrive at the gym. There's no part of my mental process where I'm trying to motivate myself. In fact, I was sick recently. I had the disgusting influenza A. Luckily, I'd been vaccinated against it because I'm not an idiot. So I couldn't come to the gym. It nearly killed me because that structure of my day where I get up in the morning and I do that and I know that I get the endorphins and I know I get a dopamine hit from it. I know I do. Was not there. It was horrible. It was horrible. So my message around that is don't rely on willpower, build a habit. And I think habits are 30 days. Is that right?
I mean, I don't know the exact studies on what it takes to build a habit. But after 12 weeks, it's very, very rare that someone hasn't seen progress and isn't happy with the progress they've seen and the habits they've built.
And when you say progress, what do you mean by that?
Improving strength, improving sleep, understanding nutrition better, all the sorts of things that we know are important for ourselves and for others. They'll see progress in every single area.
So how does exercise actually affect sleep?
And, amazing question. I'm not exactly sure on the studies or how it does help you sleep better. But every single person I talk to after exercising is suddenly like, oh, my back doesn't hurt as well. I fall asleep a lot easier. All these things occur. But the exact reason why I'm unsure of.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll have a little investigation on that because I know my sleep is awesome. Also, I had the worst back on the planet. I had like the worst back. I have nothing. I'm like incredibly awesome for my age. You're meant to agree now. I go, you are, Annie. You're incredibly awesome.
You are, Annie. You're incredibly awesome.
It's good, Connor.
So before we wrap up, I'm just going to recap the benefits of exercise that have been proven by science. Okay, so number one, as we had talked about with Connor, exercise can make you feel happier. It's been shown to improve mood and decrease feelings of depression, anxiety, and stress. And interestingly enough, it may actually increase brain sensitivity to serotonin and norepinephrine. And these hormones relieve feelings of depression. And it may also increase the production of endorphins, which we've heard about, you exercise and you get a runner's high or whatever. So that's the one thing. Secondly, we know that it can, of course, help with weight management. Your body spends energy in three ways: digesting food, exercising, and maintaining your normal daily bodily functions like your heartbeat and breathing. So combining aerobic exercise like climbing that mountain with resistance training may also maximize fat loss and muscle mass maintenance. This could help you manage weight, maintain lean muscle, and reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease. So, big tick there. We know that exercise is really, really good for your muscles and bones, especially as you get older. You don't want to have reduced muscle mass, and it helps to keep you strong and functional. And also it does help with bone density, but you've also got to keep up your vitamin D. I found this out myself. It can actually increase your energy levels. So often hear people say to me, I'm too tired to exercise. Well, exercise can help boost your energy levels while actually helping sort of counterintuitively to reduce fatigue. Aerobic exercise boosts your cardiovascular system and improves lung health, which may help with energy levels as well. And your heart pumps more blood as you move, delivering more oxygen to your working muscles. So with regular exercise, your heart becomes more efficient at moving oxygen into your blood. Awesome. All right. It can, in reality, truly reduce your risk of chronic disease. These diseases include type 2 diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and some of the cancers are breast, colorectal, lung, and liver cancer, among other types. It can help with high LDL cholesterol, which is the naughty cholesterol, and with hypertension. Exercise can help with your skin health. I can't be bothered going into the whole reason why, but actually look it up yourself. It's really worth it. It can help your brain health and memory. To begin with, as we've said before, exercise increases your heart rate. This promotes the flow of blood and oxygen to your brain. It can also stimulate the production of hormones that enhance the growth of brain cells. It's been shown to increase the hippocampus to grow in size, which may help improve mental function. And that's the part of the brain that's vital for memory and learning. And really, there is definitely evidence that exercise can contribute to reducing the chances of conditions like Alzheimer's disease and dementia, which is very important to all of us as we get older. Regular exercise, we know, and this is what we were talking about with Connor, can help you relax and sleep better. It may help improve your sleep quality because the energy loss that occurs during exercise stimulates restorative processes during sleep.
Also, the increase in your body temperature during exercise might help it drop during sleep, which could promote better sleep. Exercise can reduce pain, and we know that chronic pain can be incredibly debilitating. And for many years, the recommendation for treating chronic pain was rest and inactivity. I know myself, if I'd injure myself, I'd lie on the couch all day with a hot pack and a cold pack. It did absolutely nothing. Then I began exercising, and I know that if I get an injury or if I have a headache or any of those things, I'm much better to keep moving. They think that exercise may serve as a natural treatment option to provide pain relief and just improve general quality of life. One way that exercise may help prevent or reduce chronic pain is because it increases your pain tolerance over time. So when your glutes are incredibly sore from doing, too many squats, that's actually a good thing. And it just may help you control pain associated with various health conditions, including chronic lower back pain, fibromyalgia, and chronic soft tissue shoulder disorder. And we know that exercise can promote a better sex life. I don't want to go into that. So anybody that wants to investigate how they can improve their sex life by doing exercise, please do some research. Okay. And that's that from me. Clearly, doing exercise is a brilliant thing to help us in every aspect of our health. And you're much better doing that than indulging in the latest pseudoscience that's promoted by some absolutely clueless influencer. All right. So is there anything else you'd like to say about Code 5?
There's nothing else. I think it's been great to chat. And I think, funnily enough, the mountain climb and putting one foot in front of the other, not being able to see our destination, resonated with me so much, and a lot of our members' journeys.
Yeah, and I would totally agree with that. I would totally agree. I think it's just the most incredible metaphor. So thank you so much, Connor, for making me come on this, even though I didn't particularly want to come. As I said, I'm highly suggestible, but I've loved every second of it. And I think that's a really, really good explanation for why exercise is the best thing you can possibly do in terms of your general health. Thanks so much, everybody, for listening. I've been talking to Connor Petterson from Code 5 in Brookvale on the Northern Beaches. It's in Australia, in case you're listening to me. Someone was listening to me in Albania yesterday, whoever that was. Thanks so much. But if you happen to be in Sydney and you're looking for a gym, I highly suggest it. There's hardly any mirrors, which is awesome. It's extremely friendly. It's very collegial, and it's just very, very practical. And it ticks all the boxes in terms of what you actually can do in real terms to help your health. Thanks so much for listening. Please subscribe and really like me, because otherwise I get lonely and I'll stop exercising. Does anybody want that? No, they don't. Thanks so much for listening. Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in to Why Smart Women with me, Annie McCubbin. I hope today's episode has ignited your curiosity and left you feeling inspired by my anti-motivational style. Join me next time as we continue to unravel the fascinating layers of our brains and develop ways to sort out the fact from the fiction and the over 6,000 thoughts we have in the course of every day. Remember, intelligence isn't enough. You can be as smart as paint, but it's not just about what you know, it's about how you think. And in all this talk of whether or not you can trust your gut, if you ever feel unsafe, whether it's in the street, at work, in a car park, in a bar, or in your own home, please respect that gut feeling. Staying safe needs to be our primary objective. We can build better lives, but we have to stay safe to do that. And don't forget to subscribe, rate and review the podcast and share it with your fellow smart women and allies. Together, we're hopefully reshaping the narrative around women and making better decisions. So until next time, stay sharp, stay savvy, and keep your critical thinking hat shiny. This is Annie McCubbin signing off from Why Smart Women. See you later. This episode was produced by Harrison Hess. It was executive produced and written by me, Annie McCubbin. The excerpt from the audiobook of Why Smart Women Buy the Lies was read by Georgie Parker, Odile Leclasio, Lachlan McCubbin, and myself, Annie McCubbin.